Is your check engine light on and your scanner is showing the code P00A7? This can be a confusing issue, but it usually points to a specific electrical fault in your air intake system. This code stands for Intake Air Temperature Sensor 2, Circuit Low Input, Bank 2. Let me break down exactly what that means for your vehicle here in the States. Your engine needs to know the temperature of the air coming into it to manage the fuel mixture and emissions correctly. The computer, or PCM, sends out a 5-volt reference signal to the intake air temperature sensor. This sensor acts like a thermometer that changes its electrical resistance based on how hot or cold the air is. Typically, when the air is cold, the resistance is high, and when the air is hot, the resistance drops. The PCM monitors this voltage change. The code P00A7 specifically triggers when the computer sees a voltage signal that is lower than the expected range, which the computer interprets as an excessively high temperature. For example, if you start your car on a cold morning and the sensor tells the computer the incoming air is 300 degrees Fahrenheit, that is logically impossible, and the code is set. Bank 2 refers to the side of the engine that does not contain cylinder number 1, and sensor 2 indicates it is the second sensor in that chain. While you might not feel a huge difference in how the car drives immediately, this failure can cause your engine to run lean, lead to pinging or knocking sounds under load, and will almost certainly cause you to fail an emissions test due to high nitrogen oxide levels. The most common cause is a bad sensor that is shorted internally, effectively grounding out the signal and tricking the computer. However, it can also be a short to ground in the signal wire itself, or in rare cases, a bad PCM. To diagnose this, grab your scan tool and look at the live data for Intake Air Temperature Sensor 2 on Bank 2. With the engine cold, it should match the outside temperature. If it reads something crazy like 300 degrees, unplug the sensor. If the reading on your scanner suddenly drops to -40 degrees Fahrenheit, your wiring is good and the sensor is bad. You need to replace the sensor. If you unplug it and the reading stays stuck at a high temperature, then the signal wire is shorted to ground somewhere in the harness, and you will need to trace the wiring to find the break. Dealing with electrical gremlins can be tricky, so if you are not comfortable using a multimeter or tracing wires, this is the point where you should take it to a professional mechanic to avoid damaging the computer.